You don't remember when you stopped believing in truth? Maybe. It was the day you realized no one else did either. You're sitting in a glass tower, 30 floors above the streets. The city below moves like blood through veins. You control what? It thinks what it fears, what it wants. You are the media dictator, and the truth is whatever you say it is. It didn't start this way. 5 years ago, you were a journalist. A real one. You believed in facts, in evidence. In speaking truth to power, you wrote a story about corruption in the government. Names, numbers, documents, everything verified. Your editor killed it, not because it was false, because it was inconvenient. You protested. You threatened to resign. He looked at you across his desk and said, "Truth doesn't pay the rent." You stayed. That was your first choice. 3 months later, the company was bought. New owners. New priorities. New rules. The editor who killed your story was fired. They offered you his job. Double the salary, corner office. Real power, you took it. That was your second choice. The first assignment was simple. A businessman was accused of fraud. The evidence was strong. Multiple sources, bank records, testimony. But he was also the largest advertiser in your network. Your boss called you. He didn't threaten. He didn't. "Need to?" he just said. "We trust your editorial judgment." You understood? You ran a different story that day, about his charity work, his community investments. The fraud story. Disappeared. Not censored. Just ... deprioritized. Buried under other news. Gone. You told yourself it was strategic. You needed to keep your position to do good later. The businessman sent flowers to your office, your bonus. That quarter was larger than your entire previous year's salary. Asterisk. It gets easier. That's what nobody tells you. The second compromise is lighter than the first. The 10th barely. Registers by the 20th. You don't even notice anymore. You're not lying. You're just ... curating, selecting, framing. You're not hiding. Truth. You're managing information flow. You tell yourself this in the mirror every morning. Most days. Believe it. You learn the rules quickly. Stories about corporate scandals die on Fridays. Buried by the weekend news cycle, stories about foreign enemies run on loop, maximum visibility, maximum repetition. When your own government fails, you focus on celebrity scandals, sports, crime, not censorship. Just ... Audience engagement strategy. You have metrics. Now, dashboards, analytics. You know exactly how to make people look away. The protesters are the art problem. They're outside your building every day, chanting, holding signs, "Stop the lies." Complicit. Tell the truth. They don't understand. Truth is not a thing you tell. Truth is a thing you construct. Facts without context are just noise. Context without narrative is meaningless. And narrative. That's your domain. You decide what matters, what connects, what the audience needs to understand. You are the architect of reality. The president calls you personally now, not orders. Smarter than that, just ... conversations. Friendly advice? Gentle suggestions. That story about the hospitals might cause unnecessary panic. Those unemployment numbers need proper context. We're working on that environmental issue. Maybe wait for our official statement. You listen, you nod. You adjust. Because you're not controlled. You're collaborative. You're responsible. Your old colleagues don't talk to you anymore. The ones who left journalism, who work in nonprofits now. NGOs, advocacy groups. They think they're noble, pure. But they're broke, powerless, screaming into the void. You have reach. Platform. Influence. You tell yourself you're playing the long game. You're inside the system to change it. From knee. Someday the whistleblower arrives on a Tuesday. She has documents, video evidence, testimony, a massive conspiracy. Government officials, corporations, illegal surveillance, stolen data, manipulation, everything verified. Everything documented. She sits across from you in your office and says, "This is the story of the decade, maybe the century. Look at the files." She's right. This would destroy governments, Apple corporations, reshape the world. You ask her to leave the documents. You'll review them carefully. You'll do the right thing. She believes you. She leaves you sit alone with the files for 3 hours. You know what happens if you run this story? Lawsuits, investigations, advertiser exodus, political pressure. Your board will panic. Your staff will be targeted. Your career will end. Or you could bury it, not destroy it. Just ... delay. Indefinitely, the whistleblower will try other outlets. But you have relationships, connections, a few phone calls, some friendly warnings about verification concerns. The story will die quietly, and you will survive. You make the call. Not to kill the story, just to ... express concerns. Share information. Coordinate coverage standards. Your colleagues at other networks understand they have the same pressures, the same incentives. By Thursday, every major outlet has declined the story. Insufficient corroboration, verification issues, legal concerns. Whistleblower appears on a fringe podcast, a YouTube channel, blog, 3,000 views. She's labeled a conspiracy theorist. The story is dead. Your ratings are excellent. Your network is the most trusted name in news, awards recognition, influence. You've built something remarkable. You attend conferences now. Give speeches about journalism ethics, media responsibility. You believe every word. The crack starts small. Junior reporters asking questions, pushing back on editorial decisions. Why didn't we cover that protest? Why did we frame it that way? Why? Does every story about the opposition focus on scandal, but every story about our side focuses on policy? You explain patiently about balance, about audience needs, about sustainable journalism. Most of them understand. The ones who don't leave good. You need people who understand how the real world works. The crisis breaks on a Sunday. A factory fire, hundreds dead. Safety violations, criminal negligence, overwhelming. Evidence impossible to ignore. Your reporters are ready. Full investigation. Comprehensive coverage? Then the owner calls. Not threatening, just ... sad. Concerned, this will destroy thousands of jobs. Families depend on us. Perhaps we could frame this as a tragedy, not a crime. Focus on the victims, the recovery, the community. Support? He's one of your largest investors. You make an editorial decision? Lead with the human stories. The grief. The heroes who saved lives. Context about safety violations, but balanced, brief. Then pivot to recovery efforts. Community solidarity. Resilience. It's not false, it's just ... It's incomplete. Strategic omission. Audience management. Responsible. Journalism. Your lead investigative reporter quits that week. She doesn't yell, doesn't accuse. She just says, I can't recognize us anymore. You let her go. She joins a nonprofit newsroom, publishes the full investigation. It gets modest attention. Some social media traction? Your network doesn't cover it. Neither does anyone else with significant reach. The story fades. The factory owner sends you a bottle of rare whiskey. You're at a private dinner now. Power brokers, politicians, CEOs, media. Executives, you're one of them. They trust you, rely on you, respect you. Someone makes a joke about managing the narrative. Everyone laughs, including you. The footage appears on a Thursday. Raw, unedited, brutal, government forces. Attacking civilians, children, hospitals. Undeniable, horrific. But complicated because the government is your ally, your partner, your advertiser, and the civilians. They're aligned with your geopolitical enemies. You have a choice. You run the story. But with context, balance, proper framing, clashes between security forces and militants. Reports of violence amid ongoing conflict. Allegations of civilian casualties under investigation. You show the footage. Briefly, with extensive commentary about the complexity, not the history. The competing narratives other networks follow your lead. The story becomes complicated, debatable, uncertain, not a massacre. Situation your internal chat logs leak 6 months later. conversations with government officials, coordinating coverage, agreeing on language, suppressing stories. The evidence is clear. You're not a journalist. You're a propagandist. The backlash is immediate, intense. Protests, boycotts, resignations. Your board stands by you. Editorial independence within strategic framework. Responsible journalism in complex times. It's unfair attacks from politically motivated actors. You give a primetime speech about truth, about integrity, about the responsibility of serious journalism in an age of misinformation. Your ratings surge. Half the country believes you're corrupt. Half the country believes you're under attack for telling difficult truths. Both are right. The whistleblower is found dead. Officially, suicide. You run it as a brief story. Mental health crisis? Tragic loss. You don't mention the document she brought you. That was years ago anyway. Barely relevant now. You're still in the tower. 30 floors above the streets. The city below. Still moves like blood through veins. You control what it thinks, what it fears, what it wants. The truth. The truth is what? Survives. And you're still here. You look at your reflection in the glass. You don't remember when you stopped believing in truth, but you remember when you stopped caring. It was the moment you realized. No one else cared either. They just wanted to hear what confirmed what they already believed, and you gave it to them. Both sides. All sides. Every side. Not truth, comfort, not facts, permission. The protesters are still outside. Smaller now. Less frequent. They'll tire. They always do. And you'll still be here in the tower where truth is. It's manufactured. Where narratives are managed. Where reality is curated. You are the media dictator. And the truth is whatever you decide it is. Because truth without power is just noise. And you have all the power now. The system doesn't need villains. It just needs people who understand how things work. People like you, people who make practical choices, people who survive. You don't sleep well anymore, but you sleep in expensive sheets in a penthouse apartment. With security that keeps the protesters away, you've won, or at least, you haven't lost. In this world, that's the same thing. The next whistleblower will come eventually, with new documents, new evidence, new hope, and you'll make the same choice. Because the choice isn't really a choice anymore. It's just who you are now. You look down at the city. The people below consume your truth. Share it, believe it, fight over it. They think they're forming opinions there. Just choosing which version of your narrative they prefer, and you've given them options. You're generous that way. The screen on your desk lights up another crisis, another decision, another opportunity to shape reality. You take a breath. You smile. You get to work. Because someone has to control the truth. It might as well be you. Your bonus that quarter was larger than your entire previous year's salary.